Hello, and welcome to the Mainstreet Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Fox, and today I'm joined by the former Ashland City Chief of Police, David Lay, and his dog, Gilbert. David, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's start off with what made you want to join the police force as well as become Chief of Police?
I went to college for criminal justice, and I actually started in law enforcement down in southeastern Ohio. I worked for, I was actually Chief of Police for Murray City, was my first paid gig down in Hocking County, and a portion of it in Athens County. And then I moved to part-time at Gloucester PD. Then I got a full-time job. My first full-time job was with the state of Ohio as a park ranger for Burr Oak State Park. And while I was down there, I took the test for Ashland PD, and that was in 1992. And I ended up getting a job in Ashland PD when my job at Burr Oak ended. And then I started here in January of 1993.
Okay. What would you say is the number one thing you learned as your time with the law?
As a police officer?
Yes.
That relationships matter, that the way that you treat people matters, and it's all about being transparent and trying to do the right thing for the community.
I think those are very good lessons to pick up. What are your plans for retirement now?
I started the dog training business about 4 years ago. I've been training dogs since 2016, and so I'm hoping that I can turn this into a retirement career.
Okay, anything specific that made you choose dog training?
Well, in 2016, I acquired my first Australian cattle dog, and he was a nut. And you know, it's a breed that I wouldn't recommend for anybody. And I researched it. I knew what I was getting into. I mean, I had experience with herding dogs. I had experience with working dogs, so I knew he was going to be a handful. But I knew that I had outlets for him, or at least I thought I did. And so I brought him home 8 weeks old. Well, first of all, I tried to rescue one, and I called a half dozen rescues, and the first question they asked me was, have you ever owned an Australian cattle dog? And when I said no, they said, well, we can't let you adopt a cattle dog because it'll probably end up right back in the shelter. So I finally found a breeder, because I called several breeders, and same question, have you ever owned a cattle dog? And when I said no, they wouldn't let me buy one from them. So I finally found a breeder that would allow me to get a cattle dog and gave me first pick of the litter. And it was in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And so we drove out there when the litter was 6 weeks old, and I temperament tested this litter, and I picked this blue boy out and picked him up 2 weeks later, and he was a handful, exactly what I expected. But you know, I do a lot of things outside, hiking, running, but the techniques that I was using, good job. The techniques that I was using to train him weren't working for him. Matter of fact, he resented it. He didn't like it. He had not a lot of confidence in me, and he was fighting me back. So I found the Richland County Kennel Club, and they were offering a 7-week course in positive reinforcement, which is clicker training, operant conditioning. And I took that guy at the time to this class, and you know, we were the team that was walking in there, and he was pulling on the lead and lunging at the other teams and the other dogs and barking constantly. But after 7 weeks, he started to trust me. I was no longer using any kind of positive punishment to correct his bad behaviors. I was using positive reinforcement to get him to give me conditioned responses to behaviors that I wanted, and so thereby he wasn't as nervous and as fearful around me. So after that, I just got into it, and we went to more training classes. I started mentoring under a lady there at the Richland County Kennel Club, and I took over some of those classes in 2018. And then in 2022, I started doing it on my own, and I incorporated in 2023, and I've been doing it on a part-time basis while I was working at the police division about 12 hours a week.
All right. If someone wanted to learn more about your business, where can they go?
Well, I have a web page. It's Cowdog Outdoors, LLC, and I have a Facebook page, and they can always check things out there on the web page. They can always call me. The number's online there, and they can bring their dog out for a free evaluation if they're not sure what training program they want to enroll in. But I have several different programs. I have a solo program where it's one-on-one training with the family and the dog, and we teach them the basics of household manners. And sit. I try to get them to work with the clicker because it works so well. So we cover the basics of that. I have an intermediate level where we kind of go next level, learning more about impulse control and actually some canine good citizen drills and things. We introduce to more dogs and people. I have a group class that's the same thing as the basic solo, except it's with more people and dogs, so the dog is in a different environment with a bunch of different people and dogs. And then I am an American Kennel Club evaluator, and so I can test the dogs on canine good citizen skills of tricks and that sort of thing. And we have an open play group on Saturdays, and we also have a puppy socialization confidence building course on Saturdays.
Okay, that's a lot of very interesting stuff. Would you mind showing us what kind of tricks Gilbert has learned?
Yeah, Gilbert is he's a pretty good guy. Now, I consider he was actually a rescue. So once I got the first blue heeler, the first cattle dog, of course, when I wanted to rescue one, and they asked me, have you ever owned one? I said, yeah, I have one now. They said, come get the guy. So he was actually, his mom came from a hoarding situation in West Virginia, and he was born with a litter of 5 other pups down around Lancaster, Ohio. And he was the only red in the litter. His other brothers and sisters were blue, because these dogs, they come in 2 different coats. And just a little bit of history about the Australian cattle dog was in the early 1800s, they were bred in Australia with wild dingoes. And they had a red coat, and they were also bred with a blue merle collie. And so over the years, that has resulted in some of the cattle dogs having red coats and some of them having blue coats. So I had one of each. And this guy, unlike the blue heeler, he's good with people. He's good with meeting people and things. He's very food motivated, toy motivated, and they learn very fast. But they also have a tendency to teach you different things. And if you're not careful, they will rule the roost. So you gotta give them appropriate outlets. So we work a lot, and you can see he gives me like these settle behaviors and things, and it's only because he's looking to me for direction. He wants to do something with me. That's a good boy. You ready to show him what you can do? Huh? That's it. Good job. What about the mic here? I need to move around just a little bit. Okay, ready? Sit. Paws up. Good job. Let's come over here. Place. Sit. Down. Roll over. Good boy. Sit. Good job. Here. That's a good boy. Place. Good job. Ready? Hey, nope, come up. Sit. Hey, spin right. Gilbert. Spin right. Let's take the collar off. Maybe that bother you now. Here, ready? Let's see. Here, ready? Spin. It's a slow spin, but we got it. And we spin this way. Ready? Good job. That's a good boy. And we can do a decent amount of stuff. I mean, we can do like weaves where he goes between your legs, and I need a little more room for it, but I have to give him appropriate outlets since he's a herding dog. These dogs were bred to herd cattle, which is 30 times their size, right? I mean, up to 1,500 pounds or so. And so, like, they have a tendency to use their mouth to want to direct things, and that's why their nickname is heelers, because they use their mouth to nip the heels of cattle, but they'll also use their mouths to nip the heels of people. So I've got a herding ball that we use a lot, And it just gives him an appropriate outlet. And you should be able to notice, Gilbert, Gil, good boy. Hey, what's this? Hey, ready? Maybe. Gil, hey. Gil, come. Come here. Come here. Hey, ready? Hey. But you see how he kind of watches the ball, and he tries to stop it from going one way or the other. And so that's his herding instinct kicking in. And if you're not careful, these dogs, they'll herd kids, they'll herd other dogs, they'll herd people. And so just doing stuff like this with him in the yard, kicking it a little bit, so he'll get it and kick it back out and bring it back. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that he likes to do. And it's not real high impact, so you don't have to worry about him hurting any muscles or anything, but he could do this all day. But it's just an appropriate outlet for the herding breeds. That's a good boy. Good job. Hey, come. Let's put this up. Ready? That's a good boy. Here. Let's put this up. Good job. Good job.
That was wonderful. I never knew that much about cattle dogs or anything. It's very interesting to learn about.
Well, they have a very high prey drive. And I mean, I could talk about the breed forever. And he has never met a small animal that he hasn't killed. I'm talking squirrels, chipmunks. They fought groundhogs and killed them, you name it. And so rabbits, he loves to chase rabbits, but he catches them and kills them. Cats, he can't be around a cat. He'll kill a cat, or at least fight it, try to anyway. So they are, well, you got to think when they're bred with dingoes. I mean, they're the closest thing to a wild animal that you're ever going to put in your house. And you have to be prepared for their energy. You have to be prepared for giving them some sort of outlet, and they just don't stop. Now, this guy, he's slowed down because he's older. He just turned 8 this year. And so he is slowing down a lot, but he's still a very active and intelligent dude. He's a good boy.
Aw. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. David, Gilbert, thank you both again for taking the time to join us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us.
That will be it for today's episode of The Mainstreet Show. Make sure to follow us across social media platforms at AUTV Ashland. I'm your host, Jonathan Fox. Thank you for watching.